Will you invest for me? Hold on, where did that come through? Is that on YouTube? Hey, Kaluta. Invest for you? No, but I can teach you how to invest for yourself. Do you have questions about investing that I can help you out with? Hit me, Kaluta. Afraid of online investing. Tell me a little bit more. Why are you afraid of online investing? Hear me out. Food stamps, bye bye. Are you talking about SNAP? I could be wrong about this, but I don't think they're going anywhere, brother. It's probably a system that needs to be revamped, but I don't know that it's going to happen. Too many scams. I got hit for 3K. Well, Kaluta, why don't you go to an institution that you know is legit? I'm biased. I worked for Vanguard for 13 years, so I have to put that out there. But Vanguard, Fidelity, Schwab, like there's a bunch of them out there that are legit. Yo, what's up, Lucas? How are you, man? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Life is good. Life is good. We are back on the grind. I took almost 3 months off completely. When I say we, obviously my wife birthed the baby. All right. Was a place in Vancouver. All right. Are you in? I'm assuming you're Canada, Kaluta. Still, I believe there's a Vanguard in Canada, and there are other reputable places. Airbnb home purchase, Puerto Rico thoughts. I mean, wait, I'm frozen? No. Why? Well, I don't know if you guys can hear me. Wait, are we back? We are not back. If you can still hear me, I am on Twitch, YouTube, landscape, and all that. That's really weird that you did this. That is unfortunate. Wait, we might be back. We might be back. I can see and hear you fine. All right. That's it's on YouTube, Lucas. Let me know if we're back, YouTube. Let me know if we're back. I sold Kerr and it went over 100% and I sold in red. Oof. That's always tough, man. Time in the market is incredibly difficult to do. Lots of mistakes can be made. Hey, we're back. We're back on YouTube. All right. So Airbnb home purchase, Puerto Rico thoughts. I mean, you're in another country, which adds a whole another level of risk. But I know there are people that do that. Do you have the investments? Is it not going to affect your other? Well, there it goes again. Is it not going to affect your ability to reach other financial goals? Things like that. Tell me more about your thoughts, not Ginger Billy. All right, I need to open up Kick, and I think that is the last one. Hey, Zaratini. And I said, ooh, show karambit. Yikes, you just put me in a tough position. Let me go and find this karambit. Uh-oh. I don't know where the karambit is. That's not cool. That's not cool. Give me a second. I may have to return your purchase. Ooh, what's going on? And I said, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah. I said, hey. What's going on? All right, there we go. Was that unintentional, Lucas? I don't even know how to... wait, we got this. Ooh, we got the premiere coming right now. I said, hey, what's going on? And I said, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, what's up, Nick's Perspectives? Welcome. We got a premiere right now on YouTube.
TwitchCon 2025, the
Day,
third and final day. If you didn't already know,
we're having conversations and we're changing people. Let's go. Hey, thanks, Nick. Thanks, Nick. Today's stream is about whatever we want it to be about, Nick. It could be a flaw of mine, but I never come into a stream with a specific topic I want to talk about.
Welcome back. Today marks day 17 of one TwitchCon video a day until we run out. We begin with someone interviewing me for a change. It's short and sweet, but I love this conversation. We do YouTube, we're live streaming, but we also do YouTube videos.
Yeah. You gotta do both, man. That's how you get up there.
Yeah.
Ready? Action.
I'm ready.
Who am I here with?
Free advice guy.
Hey, free advice.
Hello.
What do you normally do on stream?
Hopefully answering people's questions about finance, personal finance, things like that. Sometimes.
All right. Hit me, Nick. Hit me.
Answering questions.
Yes.
I have one more question for you.
Hit me.
What is love to you?
Wow. The most important thing.
The most important?
Yes.
I have a confession.
Hit me.
I love you.
I love you.
Hang it up.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. You smell nice.
Yeah, thanks, man. You too.
Love your beard.
Thank you. Good to meet you. That's awesome, man. Yeah, thanks. Sorry. Great vibes all around.
All right. Hey, what's up, random? Welcome. Nick, how about you just throw a topic out there and I just start blabbing, and then we'll see if any questions pop up. What do we think about that?
Content and live streams.
I think I love... Uh-oh, random. We need to make EBT extremely limited. I agree. It was never intended to be a... it was never intended to be a forever thing, but a lot of people have turned it into a forever thing.
I heard someone say...
This was the coolest moment of all of TwitchCon.
We've had plenty of people say they've seen our content, but this is the first time we've run into someone that's actually a follower. This was a very surreal moment for me, and it helped make the weekend that much more special. What followed was a fantastic question about where to focus when you begin to invest.
So I want to get into investing.
You could say please.
Let's hold like.
I'm not sure what that's in reference to. Win. Hit me. What does that mean?
And stuff like that.
Yep.
Like, where exactly should I be like focused on? Like when I'm first starting out, like my investment portfolio and stuff like that.
So you need a specific goal with like retirement, a home.
As a broke 23-year-old living in a third world country, what's the best advice for me? Not become wealthy, but at least start having an income.
Retirement, you want to start saving for
A
that?
budget.
You might be more
As boring as that
aggressive.
sounds, Nick,
100%
a
stop.
budget.
Because
A very
I don't care if
detailed
my
budget.
job's 90%, I'm gonna
Just
throw more money at
whatever
I
it is, don't buy it
But you
unless
might not
it's
see the 90
absolutely
if it drops
necessary.
20%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to find that. But once you find that,
I work as a cashier and I see people spending $800 on groceries and then go buy weed with money they could use for groceries.
Okay.
Yep. It's, I mean, I know there are people out there who they'll sell their, whatever, $2,000 worth of benefits for $800 and then pocket the rest.
And for a lot of people, they don't truly understand their risk tolerance until the market tanks and it recovers, because you don't, that feeling, you don't really know it until you go through it.
Okay. Thank you. And one more question.
Yeah, please.
So I just turned 30, and I'm looking like to eventually like.
Yeah, it's tough, Crooked.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things our tax dollars go to that are maybe not in our best interests.
And I want to stay in San Diego, but like I said, like housing is expensive and this and that. And I'm about to get out of the military eventually.
Yeah.
So we use my VA home loan towards that because it's very like.
Oh wait, Lucas, I still need to find your that karambit.
How would I go about like when will I know is like the right time to basically like buy a house?
Yeah. First of all, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is all. This is really tough. So anybody or anything anybody says is possible. The market's going to crash. The housing market's going to crash. Stock market, whatever it is, it's possible. It might. But the reason you buy a house is because it makes sense for you.
Yeah.
Because you have the down payment, the mortgage is affordable, all that sort of stuff. Those are the things that matter more. You want the stability over at least 10 years. Some people say 5 years. I like 10 years. As long as you're going to be in that house for 10 years,
Where's my karambit?
even if the market goes down, you're likely going to be okay, unless it happens in year 9. But it's more based on how does it fit into your life, right? So there's not like a specific, because I have X amount of money, because this, that, or the other. It's because it actually makes sense to you to buy a house right now, build that stability, and kind of set the foundation for your future.
Thank you.
Can I ask you one question?
Yeah. Go ahead.
What is a financial lesson that you've learned that you think other people could benefit
Okay, I don't know. I'm going to have to refund.
You hear from other people that are basically telling you, "Oh, don't do it during this time."
Manage goals? No.
You feel comfortable doing it, do it. Don't worry about what like other people say when it comes to like, "Oh, this market's gonna crash, this and that is gonna happen."
Yeah.
I love that, man. Thank you so
Don't
much.
do it, Crooked. That would be my
Also,
advice.
this is possibly the coolest experience I've had doing this.
Really?
Nobody's ever walked up and said, I follow you.
Yeah.
People have said, I've seen you,
Yeah.
but no one's ever said it. You're literally the first person who's walked up and said, I follow you.
Yeah, I'm starting to try to get into it and stuff like that. And I was just like, my friend was like, man, you gotta follow this guy like this.
Dude, this is surreal. I'm not gonna lie. It's really surreal. But if you ever want to talk on Discord,
Okay.
live on stream,
Yeah.
right, you can remain anonymous, but our conversation can end up helping however many people.
For sure. All
So
right.
if you ever want to, reach out to me on stream or through socials, brother.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Great to meet you, man. Thank you.
That's it for today's episode. Tomorrow marks the 18th and final video in this format for TwitchCon. But don't worry, we have more TwitchCon stuff coming for you soon. Thanks for watching.
Man, that's short.
We'll catch
Hey, Watch Zone, you're back. Watch Zone is back. All right, that was a lot of fun. It would mean a lot to me if you guys watched my video that just premiered and liked it. Hey, thank you, sir. We're smiling today. We're smiling today, Watch Zones. You know, Watch Zones, I got to tell you that other day when you were asking me to smile, I was pretty sure you were just like a bot trying to create AI versions of me. And you may still be, but it just felt weird. I've never had somebody ask me to smile like that. Dude, I cannot find my karambit. What is it? What is happening, bro? All right, Lucas, I might have to just refund that. Why don't I shave my beard? Is that a real question? If it's a real question, the number one reason why my wife likes it. That's really it. If my wife said she all of a sudden hated my beard, I would be as smooth as my head right now. What are your thoughts on Dave Ramsey's show? I have never watched a full episode, but my overall thoughts on Dave Ramsey are that he is a net positive for people. I don't know enough about what he does. I don't know enough about like how he actually helps people, but I do know he helps people. So I think Dave Ramsey is a positive for the world. I agree, Nick. I never meant for it to be, but that is definitely, like, if you look at the logo, like right above me here, wait, this way, whoop, right up there, whoop, whoop. That was how long we thought my beard was going to be. We just thought it was going to be like this, and then I've just kept growing it, so. Bro, if I went to work in USA, so what do I have to do for it? I think you'd have to get if you're not from here, a green card first. I'm not 100% sure how to go about that process, though. I apologize. Is silver promising? It is totally undervalued when compared to gold. It should be like 125. Man, Camo, you probably already know this since you're stating it's undervalued, but both the silver and the gold industries are manipulated, right? There's a lot of paper trades. Somebody told me that there are like, for every 1 ounce of gold, silver, there are like 300 something paper ounces, which is not cool. Honestly, it's yourself. You can work as a freelancer, but it's tough to find a remote job nowadays. It is getting harder and harder. More and more places are making people come into the office. I'm honestly surprised it took this long. The best investment a broke guy can make, as cheesy as it sounds, it's yourself. But it's understanding how your finances and how things work. It's you understanding it. So do a budget. Build an emergency fund. Hey, what's up, AKA? Lies, welcome. But then you have an emergency fund. I like 12 months of basic living expenses. Then you set a goal for your money. Once you have a goal for your money, then you can begin investing. But you have to understand, because you're going to invest differently for retirement than you will for a car, than you will for a down payment on a home. Right? It's they're all possibly going to be different based on your time horizon and risk tolerance. So, is it IRL Uzu or is it IR Earluzu? I don't know. But what would the goal of the money be for? All right, how do I refund Lucas since I can't figure out how to do this? Community, it's not community. Moderation, no. Settings, no. Viewer rewards, power-ups and channel points, nope. I cannot figure this out. That's how the Federal Reserve ended the gold standard. They lent out 6 greenbacks for every redeemable gold in reserve. The end goal is digital identity and money. Well, that could be true, Camo. The goal of the money is to never run out of money. So, but still there has to be a, man, how do I word this? There still has to be like a specific goal, like it's for retirement. Because if you need that money at any time in the near future, yo, what's up, big homie? Did you see the video? But to never run out, it all depends on when you start withdrawing from it. So if you are going to be taking money out on a yearly basis, that's different, right? Or if you want to live off income, that's different than if you're just looking for growth that you eventually want to pull out of. All right, no worries, big homie. It came out like 2 days ago, I think, maybe 3. Why do wealthy people say that it is better to rent a house rather than to buy one? That's not what wealthy people say. Most wealthy people in the world own multiple homes. What you hear some people say is that a house, even if you own it fully, is a liability because there's always something you have to, either repairs, maintenance, taxes, things like that. So renting a house makes you free. You're not tied down to that. Hey man, I love your videos. Thank you. You are my favorite streamer. Thanks for helping me be my true self, or be true to myself. Listen here, man. I'm as straight as can be. I'm married, got 4 kids. But that did make me laugh. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. I think I've only seen the first day so far. No worries. big homie. Let's take a look here. It was on the 5th. So 2 days ago, Wednesdays. Oh yeah, you even got a premiere. I got you. Is it Earl? My maybe Nick. My wife and I have decided for public information not to disclose our stuff. He's definitely rage baiting. He's definitely rage baiting. But I would say I've done things well. How about that? How about that, Isaac? Say no to digital IDs in Australia. They're going to control us like China. They're going to control what we do IRL and online. Digital ID definitely trips me out. They say it's for protection and all that sort of stuff, but no, it's not. They essentially want to be able to control everything. But what questions you got, Isaac? I'm assuming you asked that because you wanted to know if you should take my advice. It should scare you, Ozzy. It should scare you. Why are people obsessed with precious metals when equity has been only historical hedge against inflation? Well, that's not really true, Hunk. Houses have been a hedge against inflation. Gold's actually been a hedge against inflation. But I think people like metals because they're real. And what I really think happens, even if they don't understand this, is that people like metals because they're worried that the modern system is going to collapse. And if it does, they think gold will save them. Have you ever drove beaters? 5 years insane. Like an old Ford Taurus. But I didn't get my first car until I was close to being an adult, and I only got it because my dad, who I didn't really know, died, and I got his car. Ever since then, I've been working and paying for cars. I definitely made bad decisions on vehicles before, if we want to talk about those. Gold is a hedge against inflation. Otherwise, it would have gone up in 2022 when inflation was high. I hear what you're saying there, Hunk. We're just gonna have to not fully agree. I think we're actually on the same page here, but it's definitely a hedge against inflation. It's just a very manipulated market. That's the main problem with it. My dear beautiful friend. Hey, Juma. I hope you find Jesus, my brother. Jesus is the only way. In Islam, they say Jesus was the truth, and if he's the truth, then Islam cannot be. I think people prefer gold because it doesn't flop due to inflation and always goes up when dollar flops. I don't understand why they like gold. At the end of the day, it's just another investment. So it's not like... Some people think gold is magical or something, and it is not magical. How to become good at resources allocation? Well, what do you mean by resource allocation? Because otherwise it's just trial and error. I mean, you can ask for help with things that you don't know, search the internet for ideas, things like that. But in reality, most of the time, you just get better and better as you live through it. Like, it's really funny looking back at me and my wife when we had our first kid compared to now our fourth, and how we do things differently. But it's all been trial and error, essentially. What are some good resources to learn about economics? Honestly, Hunk, the best one, it depends on what you want to learn about it, but probably YouTube. For the average person, probably YouTube. I think the main concern is that are they reputable? Do they understand what they're talking about? Anything you ever bought in past, if you bought gold instead, today's value of that gold would be able to buy that original product now or even more. 7K in 2010 is 10 ounces of gold. Today that's 40. So the camo, the one that sticks out to me, and I forgot the amount, but it was the same amount of ounces of gold bought you a house in like 1930, and it's the same now. I just forgot how many ounces that was. That's sort of why I say it is a hedge against inflation. It just might not be as reactionary as equities in the moment. I'm a 21-year-old male. What's the one thing I can do to set myself up for success within the next 20 years? Just one thing. You're going to think this answer is so boring, but it's the truth, and it's a budget. It's that's funny, Hunk. It is 100% a budget. If you understand where every dollar is coming and going, it will change your relationship with money. And then from there, be precise about what you want to accomplish with those dollars. Sir, if you are aware that product are destructed for nature, slowly needs and desires will gone fast. I'm not sure what that means. Hey, Archangel. Good morning. Good morning. Islam is taking over. I'm not sure I'm in agreement there. But tell me more, Joshua. Hit me. I do find it interesting that Islam does read a lot like a political or I don't know how to word it. More like a political doctrine as opposed to a religious one. One advice: buy as many things in your life secondhand from a human being and not a cold hard corporation pretending to help humanity. 2 model years back, you'll look 2 steps ahead of debt. I do like the idea. 437 to 751 house. All right. Yeah, I do like the idea, small local businesses, things like that. Power needs to be full of reasoning. Man, is that not the truth? But I don't think most of our leaders are. Have you guys ever wondered how it seems that every political leader all over the world seems to be inept? They're not exceptional people. they're like, and they act like they rule us. It's really strange, man. It's really strange. Hey, Watch Zone, I don't even know that I could name one cricketer. Gotcha, bro. I found out in the recent past how easy it could be to rack up crazy bills. Yup. Lifestyle, person can go under quick. Yes, they can. That's honestly what I think the biggest issue is right now, financially, for most people, is actually lack of discipline, lack of self-control. But at the same time, today's situation is much... No, you deleted your message. But things are much different now than they were even 15 years ago. And anybody who won't admit to that is... I don't know. Either unaware or... Yeah. Bro, do you know MS Dhoni? I do not. I have no idea who that is. I must apologize. All right, let me do that math here. What's gold trading at right now? Hold on a second. You know, it's funny. I like tripping people out because I'll let you guys in as well. Gold is at 4,000. Okay. Let's do the math. Wait. Hold on. Archangel. Are you serious? It was 437 to 751 ounces of gold in 1970 to buy a house? Yo, big homie, you're in Phoenix? You should have told me, bro. Hey, what's going on? I don't know what your name is to say hi. I think I know what you're talking about, Joshua, but I think it's being overblown. Maybe I'm wrong. All right. So he's the GOAT is what you're saying, Watch Zones. Leaders are definitely full of arrogance and confidence. There is no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Got in around midnight. Oh, okay. But you got in and now you're leaving. My live is black again. They are always accomplished. They always accomplish their ideology. Student loans are killing me. Yeah, this is tough. I'm hoping to get ahead of people before they take out student loans. Because you got to make sure that your degree has a good return on investment. If it doesn't have a good return on investment, it's probably not worth it. I love live streams like this. You always learn something new when speakers like you who just wants to chill and share knowledge instead of me scrolling my shorts that has no value in my life. I agree. And the other thing is, I have no products or classes to sell you. Have I ever seen the whistle occurrence? No. I'm going to look it up right now. Is it going to get me banned? That's what I want to know. Whoa. Echo. All right, let me see here. The whistle occurrence. A Roblox web series? Is that true that you can get rid of student loans if you go bankrupt? I have not seen that. I have not seen the whistle occurrence. So student loans, I don't think get discharged. Let's take a look. Student loan discharge bankruptcy. Okay. Student loan. This is according to the AI answer in my web browser here. Student loans can be discharged in bankruptcy, but the process is complex and depends on the type of loan and the borrower's circumstances. Maybe discharge a borrower can prove undue hardship through a separate legal action called adversary proceeding. The standard requires demonstrating that repaying the loans would prevent maintaining a minimal standard of living, that the financial hardship is likely to persist for a significant portion of the repayment period, and that the borrower has made good faith efforts to repay the debt. As of mid-2024, the Department of Justice and Department of Education have updated their guidance, leading to a high success rate. 98% of court decisions under the new process have granted full or partial discharges for eligible borrowers. Hey, that's good to know. Let's see here. Love is true success. It's the escape from the Hunger Games hamster wheel. It's something worth suffering for and bragging about. Power without love is empty. Hey, Camo, I completely agree with you, man. My life is so much better now because I get to spend all this time with my family. There may be a point in time that I have to give up free advice guy and go back to the corporate world. I hope it never happens. But, it's possible. But I'll always be happy about this. Hey, so why were you asking about whistle occurrence? Oh, here we go. AKA is actually a killer. It's a killer? All right. America is the only country in the world that have expensive on education. By the way, education learning is fundamental core of human purpose. So I'm gonna push back a little bit, Yogs. Most college is a waste of time and worthless. Most. That's not to say all. There are definitely degrees out there. And sometimes just having a degree can get you an interview with a company. But I meant the whistle occurrence is a killer. All right. So it definitely, if it's free. Even if it's free, it's a waste of time. That's like saying nothing is a waste of time if it's free. Of course it can be. Is it making you a better person? Are you actually gaining knowledge and skills that are beneficial to you as a human being? There are still 90+% of degrees are a waste. Now, if you just want to say from a learning perspective, hey, it'd be cool if I just learned about 1600 or 1600 Spain. All right, that's cool. It's a game from Roblox. You die in the game, but the whistle occurrence can kill you in real life. Man, today's YouTube chat is cooked, bro. Why are we bringing up the whistle occurrence? And that people, stuff is happening in real life. What is going on here? What is going on? If you don't want to do a trade, then yeah, you got to go. There are other options, but trade or college seems to be prevalent ones now. Department of Nonsense. How much is the payment? 8 years is insane. What is it supposed to end? Wait, how did I miss that? I didn't see anything about 8 years. You're right, sir, but all education has not come from university. It's also from environmental and surrounding skill and influence. Oh, I completely agree with you. I worked remote with a dealership as appointment setter, and most people had that problem where they had a car loan for like 3 years and never paid it because of the interest rate. Yeah. Just tuning in, curious. What do you think is the best thing to invest in today? As cheesy as it sounds, it's yourself. You got to understand finances first. You need a budget and an emergency fund and specific goals before you invest. Investing is step 4 for achieving financial success. What is this? Are you a bot talking about this game? 18 billion have been reported. It's not even 18 billion people alive, bro. No, Silencer. Actually, Silencer, before I say no, let me ask why you think that way. What makes it the best? Number 1, the best. Because that's only 500 of the 3,300 stocks in the U.S. or the close to 6,000 stocks in the world. What makes the S&P the best? Okay, well, S&P 500 is different than VTI. VTI is the 500 index fund and the extended market index. You are a real person. I would say NASDAQ is better, but a well-distributed portfolio would work just fine. Because stats show that over long term, if you just buy VTI, you will outperform someone that picks stocks themselves. The research does state that. If you want to understand investing, you should read the Little Book of Common Sense Investing by John Bogle. If you read the Little Book of Common Sense Investing by John Bogle, it will probably change how you think about investing. What do you think about crypto? Is it end of the bull cycle? I'm going to say I don't know, but I'm going to say I don't think it matters. The people who own Bitcoin or think about Bitcoin most of the time think it's going to go to like 20, 30 million in like 20, 30 years. So, I mean, it could be the end of this bull cycle, but to them, if it crashes, they're just going to buy more. You know what I mean? Yo, thank you for the subscription, Funko Pop. Subscribe and like y'all. He is truthful, educated. Hey, thanks, Camo. I appreciate it. The only thing I don't do as a Boglehead is buy international because I have bias towards USA. Silencer, why didn't you tell me, bro? I spent 13 years at Vanguard. Or maybe you might know me in real life. Maybe you already know this about me. But I worked at Vanguard for 13 years. So I am there. I do have international, but I understand your bias towards USA. Hello, I was laid off from my 6-figure job in government contracting due to the government shutdown. I was given a large severance that I could use to pay off most of my debts. Should I take a part-time job? Hey, Keon, I think it's always good to have an income, but you have to assess your whole financial picture. Because if you think about this, you only have so many times in your life to take breaks from work. I have taken one extended break from working, and it was glorious. It was glorious. So anyway, think about that a little bit, but if you need money, you should. All right. I'm thinking I'm going to have to ban these weird messages here. This is weird. Anna. Was your stuff hacked? Let's see here. Should I spend to upgrade the buildings or walls in Hammer Jam? I don't even know what Hammer Jam is, bro. Sir, AI digital world soon will displace service sector. I think material industry and physical job will increase where human movement require. It's definitely possible, Yogs. It's definitely possible. What was your life like before being the free advice guy? I worked at Vanguard for 13 years, so I did my 40 hours a week there, and I spent my nights and weekends with my family. We lived in Texas for a couple of years. We lived in Arizona for the rest. But I would just say like my working hours are much different than and what I do for work. Please help. It was hacked. It was hacked. Service sector employment will be gone. Will gone by 50%. I mean, it's possible. Man, there's a lot of things out there in the economy, like the debt to GDP ratio. We're getting closer to 1.3, and that is generally not a good sign, stuff happens at that point in time. But they literally say AI and robots might be the only thing to break us out of that. While you were at Vanguard, holy snap. Does State Street and BlackRock fund both sides of politics? And the three basically own each other, Vanguard, State Street, BlackRock. So Vanguard is different. Vanguard takes stakes in public companies because that's what they do. But the thing that makes Vanguard different, and one of the reasons I enjoyed working for them, is they're client-owned. That was probably the best thing about working for Vanguard. I never was worried about outside shareholders. I was only... I don't know if that actually worked, but I'm not really familiar with it. Vanguard is like a Goldman Sachs or something. Vanguard is... No, they're just a investment thing. Like mutual funds, ETFs. You can buy stocks and stuff there, but Vanguard itself is ETFs and mutual funds. Vanguard banned a lot of things, Silencer. You can't do leveraged ETFs there either. Vanguard has essentially taken the bottom side, really the bottom and the top side of the risk spectrum, and shrunk it for anyone who invests with them. Because, and I don't fault them for it. I don't like it for me personally, but I don't fault them for it because if the entire stock market falls or some sector falls and Vanguard has a fund that allows you to do it, they'll blame Vanguard. You know what I mean? When you leave in Big Homie, I'm really sorry, Big Homie. When are you leaving Phoenix? Is it right now? Are you on the road? I feel like I started... Wait, that's good advice, although I'm the type of person that feels very lazy when I'm not working. I totally feel that, Keon. I totally feel that. But you could still, quote-unquote, work. You would just work for yourself. You got to figure out how to improve yourself during that time. Do you see programmable digital credits in 10 years? Would you be surprised if there's universal basic income? I'm going to be honest. Nothing is going to surprise me. There's really nothing in the world that will surprise me. There are humans that are bent on controlling people. And there are other people who think they should control people. I don't know how to describe it. It's weird. Give me some advice. I'm 28. I have a house, a wife, 2 kids, and I make good money, but don't know where to invest my money. La Familia! I like it. I don't know if your name is La Familia because you are Hispanic. My wife's family, well, my wife and family are Mexican. So, hola. But, okay, if you're 28, a wife and 2 kids, I have 4 kids. I'm going to assume your budget is down to the penny. You have an emergency fund. I like 12 months of basic living expenses. Some people think that's crazy, but I can go over why I like 12 months of basic living expenses if anybody wants to hear it. But then from there, before you invest, which is step number 4, you need a goal with a time horizon and a risk tolerance. So is this money that you're talking about investing for retirement? Is it for your children? Is it for a home? Is it for a car? Right, we got to know things. We got to know things, more details before we can get into the specifics of what an investment could be. Yo, 2 pensions. How'd you do that, La Familia? Hey, if you guys don't have a budget spreadsheet or some way to track your budget, my Patreon is free, and it includes a budget spreadsheet. Go sign up for Patreon, get the budget spreadsheet. What are the 12 months basic budget? So it's essentially you have to figure out which your basic living expenses are every month. That's what the budget spreadsheet is for, or just, tracking your budget. You got to figure out what your basic living expenses are, and then you save that amount up. Okay, so La Familia, if we want to talk about your kids, there are multiple ways to save for your kids. So now let's talk about this. You could save directly for education with something called a 529 plan. And the cool thing about 529 plans, most institutions, if you invest like that, they'll give you things like target date funds. So if you say my kids are going to go to school in 2040, then you can make that the investment, and it'll start more aggressive now and get more conservative as you get closer to them going to school. When I was in the military, my leadership wanted me to try and get into leadership role, and I didn't want to. My brother later told me that those with no interest in leading men make the best leaders. As weird as it is, that's true. Do you guys want to hear the story about how and why I became a leader? My last 9 years at Vanguard were spent as a leader. Gambling CS2 or not? Did you budget for it, Leo? It's funny is the answer to any question on whether or not you should buy it or anything like that really comes down to is your budget figured out? Do you have an emergency fund? And then how this money is. So like if you look at gambling as entertainment and you budget, $200 a month on entertainment and you don't care if it goes to zero every month, then you can do that without affecting your goals. Do I recommend gambling as it is? No, I do not. I do not recommend gambling. Hey, Tahoe G, thank you for the sub on YouTube. Just realized I've been half-assing stuff for weeks. Downloaded Vanguard, didn't start an account yet. Downloaded Patreon, haven't joined you yet. Haven't been keeping up with the videos being uploaded. Big homie, there's a lot to do in life, my friend. Yo, Leo, thanks for the YouTube sub. But there's a lot going on, big homie. Just prioritize the stuff. Stuff that needs to be done sooner. Do it. Oh man, I didn't wait, I didn't tell the story, big homie. Nobody said they wanted to hear it. Inheriting 1.6 million because my father passed. Ah, man, nasty. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I'm assuming if you inherited it, man, there's a lot of things to unpack here, Nashti. Is it currently invested or is it in cash? We'll get there, Silencer. We'll get there. Hold on. Cash and properties. Okay. So the two properties. One, being in cash is epic. Because what happens a lot of the time is someone passes away Hey, I lost my mom at 30, so I hope you know, and I didn't really know my dad, but I lost him when I was 16, Nashti. So please understand, my heart is with you. That's I'm really sorry to hear that. But they get a step up in basis when somebody dies, but then they stay invested and keep going, and then it creates another taxable event when you sell. So 40K referral, invest now, your money won't lose value from here on. All right, so Nashti, you got to think about what your life looks like, right? So are you working? Because if you have these 2 condos, I don't know if you're going to live in one, rent one out, what we're doing. Hey, and also if you want to jump in a Discord call, we can do that. If you want to actually have a conversation, but if you want to keep it in chat, please feel free. So with your, you have to know what the goal of your money is, because right now, a federal money market fund at Vanguard is paying close to 4% approximately. So I currently make about 120K per year. Okay. Are you going to keep the properties as income properties? Are you going to sell them? What are you thinking? Keep the properties. He had about 700K in cash. Man, that's a lot of cash. Okay, so there's a lot to keep there. All right, that breaks it up. So 2 properties and cash worth about 1.6. So if you want to keep them, turn them into income properties. That's one thing. You know, that's going to affect your taxes. So right, you're creeping up. Are you married, Nashti? Because if you're not married, you're creeping up to some barriers or some tax bracket stuff. You're getting close. So then you can decide if you want to turn those into income properties. And then with the 700,000, would it be for retirement? Would it be for children? Would it be for something else? Our new bid for the 2026 year started today because we're opening a new police precinct and downtown is already having a wonderful start. Man, what does that mean? What do you do for the bid, Archangel? Yeah, see, it feels weird now. I know it's Dan. What is a bid? All right, use that power for love. It will go farther than any more power and money you get. It's pointless. You are a millionaire. You won the battle. To win the war game, give the power to those you love. Invested last week, 50K in Meta. Do you think I will surpass the current falls on this stock? Well, let's take a look. Wait, so you did it last week? Let's look at Yahoo Finance. Other than budgeting, I don't know if I'd call it a skill. No, you know what? I'll do this skill. Not paying attention to the market. So many people look at the market on a day-to-day basis, and it adds this huge level of stress in their life that is completely unnecessary. It is completely unnecessary to have that kind of stress in your life, because what happens on a day-to-day basis in the stock market doesn't necessarily affect you. So if I were to say, it would be the discipline to not look at the markets and react to them emotionally. What's your opinion on people who invest all? Is QQQ the growth one? Invesco Trust, or is this the income one? Large growth. I don't have an opinion on those people. Everybody needs to understand why they invest in what. So what they are thinking is that this fund will outperform everything else, the entire U.S. stock market, other large cap funds. So if they're comfortable with it, that's one thing. But they also need to understand that it's not a very diversified portfolio. All right, Nashti, do we answer everything that you wanted there? And also, guys, if you didn't already know, I have a free Patreon. Join that bad boy. You get a free budgeting spreadsheet, weekly community Q&A sessions with market recaps. It's free, baby. It's in my bio. It's free. All right. Two things. Just search Nashville Police and you'll see my sarcasm. The patrol officers and supervisors bid amongst themselves for the 9 precincts and 3 shifts with 2 extra units. So they list their choices from 1 to 29, and depending on their seniority and the needs of the department is where they go for a year. Really? I keep rebidding for the downtown afternoon shift because I love it. Is your shift the one that you love, popular and common, Dan? Or is it react to the market spiritually? What? All right, and big homie, since you're listening, I'm going to go ahead and tell the story. But I was a financial advisor in 2015. And in May of 2015, my mom died unexpectedly from cancer. And when she died, I lost like my passion for life. I was raised by a single mom. I was raised by her. And I lost my passion. I took 6 weeks unpaid off of work. And when I came back, I just didn't have it anymore. But I was still coaching other people. And I was sitting there and I could hear someone else talking to a client, and they used my coaching. And that fired me up. So it made me want to get into leadership. Now, leadership is unfortunately not just coaching. But, yeah. It was still awesome. It was still awesome. I had no idea that that was a thing, Dan. I just thought like you worked for the place that you worked. What's your opinion on the gold standard? Most modern monetary theorists say gold standards suck and unviable for commerce. The main issue for the gold standard was you don't really get to expand your money supply either. So we could not be the world's reserve currency with the gold standard. That would have been impossible. The amount of gold we would have had to acquire would have been insane. With all that said, I do like dollars being pinned to something. Depends what apartment, the bigger it is, the more potential you have. Very interesting. All right, I'm going to look for this karambit one more time. Wait, not really. Those of us who know that downtown has good supervisors and really good arrest potential, a lot of people like the different areas, and it's fine by me. I'm number 2 senior for downtown afternoon. Nice. So you're always getting it. You're always getting the shift you want. All right, I'm looking one more time. See if I can find this bad boy. I truly do not understand where it could be. Aha! Lucas! Lucas! Are you still here, Lucas? I don't think Lucas is here anymore. Well, since everyone else is not here, I will show it to Lucas when he gets back. But if you see this guy, if anybody has played Valorant, you will know what this is. But it's a karambit. I believe it's the Reaver karambit. And my buddy Wiz ordered one of these. But if you notice the color, there's purple in that. My buddy ordered a white one, and they sent him this one. So he let them know it was a mistake. I think they sent him just a replacement, gave him the right one, told him he could keep that, and he sent it to me, baby. I had it up on my wall for a long time, and whoa, in Texas, it just would hang up right here. Let's see here. Do you think Meta fight for AI expansion is going to pay out big? I believe Mark is a very smart individual and that he wouldn't go with that kind of conviction without knowing something big we don't. So I don't have a strong opinion either way, Rui. It's just a maybe, man. And I hate saying maybe to you, but it could go gangbusters, man. But do you think Meta will outperform everything else or most of the stock market, the whole stock market? Right? That's what you're doing if you make that buy. And then let's just say it happens. What is your exit strategy on an individual holding? When will you sell it and realize the gains and pay the taxes? So you realize the best person that you could be and that you wanted around you and chose to be that person for others. Brilliant. Great leader. Thanks, Campbell. I appreciate it. Losing your mom suddenly must have been devastating. Dude, I felt the same way when I lost my grandma. I'm glad you did what you did. And now I know you because of it. Right? That's crazy, big homie. That's so crazy. I appreciate that, Camo. Yeah, I got into leadership. And, man, I don't know how to... I'm going to give you a piece of advice, and it's how I lived my corporate life. I never competed against somebody else. All I ever tried to do was the best I could do. What's weird about that is that actually sets you apart from most people. Most people want to get by. Through my process as an individual contributor and as a leader, what I learned is you should just try to be, or your goal should ultimately be to be better than everyone else at the job. And that'll take you places. You got to outgrind, outwork everybody, and just do better. But yeah, man, my results as an individual contributor were great. As a leader, they were great. But it was because I connected, man. But yeah, losing my mom suddenly was very stunning. We went to... I was on vacation, and I got a call from my ex-sister-in-law. My ex-sister-in-law, who never calls me. And I was like, I answered. I'm like, hello? And they told me I should probably come home. Your mom's in the hospital. So, for cancer. So I called my mom. For some reason, she didn't want to tell me. And she didn't let anybody in the family know and told the doctors not to let us know just how bad it was. So that was tough. Anyone else thinking of trimming some positions with a potential correction on the horizon? Well, we had a correction in April. So are you thinking it's going to happen again, Carlos? It's definitely possible. But so generally, if you become a part of my community, you join the Patreon and all that, buying and holding is generally a winning formula. If you're trying to jump in and out of the market, time it, and all that sort of stuff, you could end up making some pretty big mistakes with your portfolio. So just be careful. Wait, Ash, which one? Which part was BS advice? Doing better than everyone else? Have you looked into the weird NVIDIA OpenAI data center OpenAI contract? It's very large and a weird feedback loop. I'm bad at explaining it, but it's top companies in the stock market, I heard. Interesting. I have not heard that, Camo. I believe it's starting, don't you think? So let's take a look here. You know what? I'm not even going to comment on it. I'm going to pull up here. So for the last 5 days, we're down over 2.5%. 1 month, we're down almost 1%. 6 months is not really fair, but we're up 18%. So maybe, that's what I'll say, Carlos. Anything you're worried about happening can happen. Anything somebody says might happen, could happen. You can't tell them they're wrong. But how do you plan for that? How do you adjust for that? How do you build your portfolio and your strategy to not worry about that? So what you should do is set a target allocation based on your time horizon and risk tolerance. So to give you an example of this, Carlos, let's just say you locked into your risk tolerance and you decided that 70% stocks, 30% bonds was where you are comfortable. Yeah, big homie, it's still shut down unless there was news recently today. But yeah, government's still shut down. So if you're 70-30, 70% stock, 30% bonds, and then the stock market has an '08 level Armageddon. Stocks lose 50%. So your 70% stock loses value, half of it. And now it becomes worth 35% of your overall portfolio, and bonds are the other 65%. Well, this is a good opportunity to rebalance. I have a longer explanation of this, but in short, you would sell out of some of those bonds and buy stocks while they were low. So if and when the market recovers, you not only recoup everything you lost, you're actually ahead because you bought shares of stock while they were lower. You know what's really funny, big homie, about politics? The market historically likes it when when the government can't botch things up, if that makes sense. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm going to look at the entire stock market instead of... Yeah, so the entire stock market is down over 2.5% in the last 5 days. Does that include today? Yep, Monday through today. All right. Today it's down almost 1%. Wait. Yep. But yeah, big homie, the market is pretty agnostic to everything. Big news might shake and rattle the market, but the market is generally agnostic to almost everything. I'm from the government, and I'm here to help. Hey, big homie, I don't know how you're going to feel. You know what? We'll talk about Reagan later. What's the biggest difference in financial education between normal worker families and ownership, entrepreneur, investment families? How do they pass down their empire and way of life? Oh, man. There's a lot of questions in here, Camo. And so, hold on. We have to take out investment families, entrepreneur families, normal workers, because entrepreneurs, normal workers, and all them, it's all based on what they went and sought after. Investment families live, looks over awkwardly in his police uniform. Wait, you have to know that quote, right, Dan? What he's talking about? Reagan is definitely not talking about the police when he says that. So, and ownership. So, when they're in the investment world, that's just the world they know. So that's how they learn. The rest of them, it's by seeking education. But your last question here, how do they pass down their empire and way of life? Most family wealth is gone. Completely gone within 2 generations. It is a great joke, Dan. I've never heard it before, and it tickled my ribs. Does that make sense, Camo? I'm afraid I didn't go in depth with enough of, or in depth enough, but I would like to know your thoughts. I don't think Lucas is still here. We'll see if it tags him or not. Man, I don't understand how the Instagram algorithm works. I'll get a bunch of views on Instagram, but nobody comes into the live. So investors are just great at finding the winner team. The workers have to dedicate to something much more long-term. Yeah, I mean, investors have more money to deal with, and they probably make money faster. There's more velocity to their money. But everyone else, and I'm talking doctors, whatever you think, the engineers, I've worked with all of them. I worked with somebody who used to work at NASA. You don't know finance unless that's what you do, or you research it. Right? So the investment families, that's what they do. So it's just part of their day-to-day. Do you believe money back in the day, 1980 and before, yielded less of a return than money does now at creating money, using money? I actually just think there's a larger money supply. It's not as tight. That's honestly where I think the stuff mostly comes from. That's not to say there aren't certain companies that are definitely doing it better. So it depends on what you mean by return, because back then the risk-free rates were much higher. So the risk-free rate was higher, which meant non-risky stuff had to be risky stuff had to be even higher. So I don't have a direct answer to that, Camo. I apologize. What changes did the One Big Beautiful Bill Act make to the tax code that we peasants could take advantage of? It really just extended the current tax things. They did add things, and I don't have the details on it, but no tax on tips and things like that. But I think that's only up to a certain amount. I'm not 100% sure. So it didn't really change much, but there will be more and more that comes out. There will be more and more information about it as we learn more and more about it, but it really wasn't a huge sweeping tax code change. It was more about extending the 2016, 2017 tax cuts that were already there. What do you think my blue collar job is at 15? Like, are you saying you have a blue collar job now? Or are you saying what blue collar job should you get into? You have one. It's blue collar. You're 15. Mowing lawns? That's one of them, and I do construction. I love that you're grinding at 15, man. Do you have accounts where you can invest already, Gabe? Do your parents let you? How could people go 10 years without paying taxes? What's the craziest tax story you've heard of? Things like that. People will say after like 5 years, 7 years, they'll bring it up like, hey, I haven't paid tax in 10 years. Do you know? And it's like, you what? So I don't think I heard 10 years. I think the longest I personally heard was 5. Hey, Gabe, that's a very deep question. Let's have that discussion a little bit further later, because it depends on what you're investing for, right? You'll invest for retirement differently than you'll invest for saving for funds to help you start another company, or to start a company, right? Like there's a lot of stuff. A lot of things we could go over. What should I do with $2,000? Tell me what the money is for, Cobwebs. Is it for retirement? Is it for a car? Is it for a house? Tell me what it's for. Because what a lot of people come in looking for is like, essentially they're asking what stock or ETF should I invest in or things like that. But we have to understand, hey Rodrigo, we have to understand what your risk tolerance is before we can make an investment decision and what it's for. Okay, so right, like, so if we just like Cobbs, let's just say I threw out an investment for you right now. I just said like, hey, invest in XYZ fund. If that's a real fund, I'm not telling you to do that. But let's just say I said that. So if I tell you something like that, but I don't know enough of your details, right? And the stock market goes down, but you needed the money in 2 years, that puts you in a bad spot. So we need to know a little bit more details first. Gabe the guitarist, I would rather save to have good financial health when I move out. Well, saving and investing are part of the step 4 when it comes to financial success. But step number 2 is first. And this is tough because you're a kid, Gabe. But for me, I think people should have 12 months of basic living expenses set to the side. Some people think that's too much and a crazy amount of cash, and I have reason for it. But I think that should be in a high yield savings account or a money market fund for your emergency fund. I've heard 7 and they want money for preparing your taxes, but it's a setup. When you do it yourself, then they owe you. Interesting. We are liable for taxes up to 10 years, but government is only liable to pay within 3. Yeah. I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but taxation is theft. All right. Sorry, guys. Had to get that off my chest. Viper, the average geek, or the AV geek. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Look, I don't even know. It's not even doing it. Look at it. It might not look like it in here, but this is like 14 inches of beard. And I've shaved off probably 4 or 5 inches in the last 3 months. Over time. Slow boy. How much of my paycheck should I spend on 0 DTE spy calls? I don't know how to answer this question. I'm not into calls, slow boy. I'm not into options or anything like that. I'm a buy and hold investor for the long term. So if you're looking to make money off of options, I'm probably not your guy. I apologize. I could potentially talk you out of options and tell you how they're unpredictable. Which is more important financially? How you make and accrue money, or how and where you live and save money? I believe most think how it's earned is more important, but I think how you spend. It's definitely how and where you live and save. Your actions. Oh man, big homie, that was so cool. TwitchCon was so cool, man. So it's definitely more about your behaviors. There are people who hate their jobs, right? Ultimately hate their day-to-day, but they're making a lot of money and they're saving money and they're going to be able to retire early, 40, 45, 50. So it's way more important how you save and invest to prepare for your future. Your money has to have a goal, and if it has a goal, you have a lot higher chance of being successful. I get paid $10 an hour and the most I've worked is 14 hours. What % should I save and what should I use as spending money? This is tough, Gabe. You're a kid, man. Honestly, if I were you, man, it's tough. Talk with your parents about getting a high yield savings account and literally put every dollar in, but you need to budget for your life. You have to figure out what's important to you and how do I word this? What's important to you? What is something you're going to buy in the near future so you can save it for cash? Like, let's just say you want a new computer. A new computer is going to cost you a decent computer, I don't know, $1,800. So, right, if you're making 140 hour or $140 per week, right, that's going to take you 14 weeks or so to get the money to 13, 14 weeks to be able to buy a computer. So that's how I would start thinking about it, Gabe. What's the goal of the money? Because I'll actually start off and say you should save 100% and spend as little as possible. As little as possible. And hey guys, if you see the pinned message, we have a new video that released today from TwitchCon. Watch it. Beginning to end. It's short. Like it. And then get on the train, baby. We're changing the world together. That's what I was doing. I managed to buy a motorcycle. Hey, how are you 15 with a motorcycle? You remind me of my boy. You know, I haven't seen him in a long time. Did Riz leave? Is this Riz? Hold on a second. Is this Riz? But yeah, I forgot what state he lives in, but they allow you at like 15 years old to drive motorcycles around as long as they're low CCs. I'm going to retire, hope at 40. Let's go! In West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, West Pennsylvania, aka the sticks, where houses are 80K. I'm saving for 25 to buy the dilapidated or fix it up. Just no jobs out there. Sound good? I love the idea of going somewhere cheaper. We've honestly thought, it's not as cheap, but we've honestly thought about going to places in Texas and buying stuff. Wait a second. You bought a 1100 V Star at 15. Gabe, please don't do that. Please, you are way too young for an 1100. How much riding experience do you have and on what? An 1100 is crazy. Need advice. I'm losing everything and have 100,000. Tell me more. What do you mean? What do you mean you're losing everything, Air? Let's start with that. You in Discord? Yes. Are you a part of the Stream Team Discord? If not, let me get the let me get this going here. I don't know how to set up YouTube YouTube stuff. I do have it in Twitch, Error. I do have it in Twitch. Let me see here. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. All right, let's check that out. I've ridden dirt bikes. I've ridden motorcycles before. It is a shaft drive. It has about 60 to 68 horsepower. It's a couch of a bike. Still, the fact that you have some experience on it makes me feel a little better. But that's still a huge bike to start on. Huge. There we go. Hey, stars. I started off on a Suzuki Savage 650, Gabe. I now drive a 1000 Kawasaki Concourse from 2006 Kawasaki Concourse. All right, stars, if you join the Discord, whoops, that's not what I'm looking for. All right, you joined it there. All right. Yo, what's up, man? Oh wait, hold on. My headset turned off. Give me one sec. You're watching it live. Connected. There we go. There we go. I got you. All right, give me one sec here. All right, let me grab something real quick, and then we shall chat. Hang on one sec, okay? All right, one sec. All right, let's roll. Good, man. Yeah, I actually normally start these conversations off by having you tell me what's on your mind, because generally the thing that is the most important to you is I need to. The thing that is most important to you is the thing that we should cover first.
Okay, that's a good way to go about it. Cut a long story short, I am a truck driver and I am facing a DUI. I was a little bit over, and it's a horrible thing to admit to. You know, thankfully, obviously nobody was hurt and so on and so forth. But yeah, I am basically losing everything. Um, I have a house that I'm in the process of selling, and I am trying to figure out my well, making sounds unplug. And yeah, I'm just trying to figure out my next move. I am 36. I have a house at the interest rate of 3.125, but when everything comes to a conclusion, be able to afford my house. So I'm trying to liquidate everything.
What's your living situation going to be after you sell?
Sorry, I just got a phone call at the same time and I'm trying to reject it. Say that one more time.
What is your living situation going to be afterwards?
So I grew up in foster care and don't really have family, but am lucky enough to where I'm going to be able to live with my foster parents for a short period to try to figure out the next move. They said if I'm going to college, that is an option, but yeah, I'm not sure what my next move honestly is going to be.
So the first thing I would do, if you haven't done so already, is physically write out or in an Excel spreadsheet your budget, figure out what all your expenses are down to the penny, and eliminate everything. You might have already done that, but that has to be step number one. All right.
Yep.
So
I could go through that a little bit.
okay.
If you care.
The details aren't necessarily as relevant, but the most specific thing is to get them as low as possible. So if you're already there,
Yeah.
you're good.
Basically, the only debt I have is a motorcycle, which I'm willing to sell back to the dealership, eat the loss on, and use the difference from selling my house to pay off that motorcycle and be at square one.
Okay. What do your job prospects look like? I know I know as a truck driver that might preclude you from some things.
Yeah, I know how to weld a little bit, but as far as job prospects go, my life has really just been truck driving. That's what I did out of college because I met a girl that I thought was cool and decided not to finish my degree to pursue a white picket fence life with her. We didn't work out, and so I never finished my degree. And that's why I'm kind of thinking about going back and finishing my degree that I have, like, let's say, I mean, not very many credits for. So I'm basically starting a freshman year.
All right.
Yeah, yeah, basically everything I know is truck driving. That's marketable.
Have you? I know they said going to college, but have you considered going the oh man, trade route?
I've considered doing electrician or plumbing. My brother, he is an electrician. It's just with the economy right now, anything in construction, obviously it's residential, it's just getting beat to all heck. I'm not afraid to work with my hands. I would like to be an electrician, plumber, welder, I mean, whatever it may be, carpenter. It just seems pretty difficult with how things are going. So, I mean, yeah, for the shorter answer, yes, I've considered trades.
Okay. Now trades are, there might be hot and cold seasons, but generally certain trades are always in demand. You always have to have electricians. You always have to have plumbers. Like these are things that have to exist.
Not to dox myself, I am on the old West Coast, I'll say that. So I am in a better market than most.
Okay. So the main reason I'm bringing up the trades, and I was going to say this about going back to college as well, is what you want to think of, especially, you're going to have cash, so maybe you could just pay for school. But either way, if you're going to spend money to get yourself more educated and to build skills, you want to think about it as an investment. You're investing in yourself. What's going to give you the biggest return on investment? And the reason I bring up trades is they're generally a lot less costly and they can make a good amount of money at the same time. So your return on investment is a little bit easier, higher, and a little bit less risky. Whereas, if you go back to school, like you said, you're a freshman. Even if you did 30 hours a year, you're going to have 4 years before you can even start in that field. And that's going to have you start as an entry-level person. Whereas at the same time, if you go and be a tradesman, even if things are slow right now, during that 4 years, that same 4 years, you'll actually be earning income.
Agreed.
And building your resume, right? Like you're becoming a much more valuable member to that group. Whereas like a degree, I don't know what you're thinking about getting into as a potential degree, but is AI...
Electrical engineering.
Okay.
Electrical engineering while double majoring in computer science because it's like a 15 credit difference for a bachelor's. So I figured might as well do both. The reason why I've been shying a little bit away from trades is I'm gonna have to have a blow and go for 5 years.
Okay.
And that is going to put a damper for a lot of job opportunities unless it is new construction. I'm very thankful that the worst thing I have to deal with is a blow and go. Thankfully, it could have been a lot worse, or I could affect a lot of other people. Trying to be honest about it, but I'm just trying to figure out the next move with it, which since I'm not going to be able to drive to a lot of locations, which is why I'm considering university.
Okay.
So
yeah,
that's where the other little caveat is in this.
Okay. So yeah, that's something that you'll have to decide because, if you're going to go into electrical engineering from a decent school, right? Or even if it's not decent, it's probably going to cost you a good amount, right? Like, I don't know. Can you get out for under 60,000?
I was talking to a state university and I mean, I would have to go to a community college for obviously the first 2 years, but yeah, I'd be tapping myself out pretty good. And then what kind of job opportunities are going to be there afterwards, so to speak? Just, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out a way to answer your question very directly without doxing myself.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah, it would eat up a lot of my money to be pretty bluntly if I was just going to go to a state university, ones I was looking at.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily, like, the money you spend to educate yourself isn't necessarily the issue, it's the return. And I don't know what the job market is. I know electrical engineering is pretty good. Computer sciences, especially if you're going to, understand how to use and train AI, things like that. That could be beneficial. But I don't know what the job market's going to be in 4 to 5 years. I don't know what an entry-level job looks like. But either way, it sounds like you're going to be blessed to not have student loans when you finish, which is probably the biggest advantage that you have going right now. So even though there's a lot of things you probably feel are not going well, you do have things going well for you in that you will likely end whatever education you do debt-free.
Yes.
So nothing that you do is necessarily terrible, but Can you maybe explain to me a little bit about why you wouldn't be able to drive to a job site? Like, I know you got the blow and go, but...
So, why would you not be able to drive to a job site? So, I would be able to drive to a job site, but I would have a blow and go inside my vehicle. And basically, unless it is a random vehicle or it switches every day, I'm not sure how many states are like this, so I'm kind of doxing myself a little with that. Is, you know, basically, unless it's a company vehicle that changes every day, I am not going to be able to drive a company vehicle, which is why I said it would have to be a new construction, because show up to the same job site every day, not having to, drive, sorry for company, Roto-Rooters, company van around. So I would be able to do my job. There's a lot of companies, due to insurance or whatever, that won't let me drive their equipment around, and I don't have the luxury of it changing so often to where it would have to have a blow and go in it, if that kind of makes sense for a trade.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. I didn't really think about the company car being an issue, but yeah, that's...
Yes, that's the part that's the monkey wrench for me.
What about outside of the box? Are there things that you can do to work for yourself? Are there ways that you can not go back to school but just start a business? Or is that sort of impossible because they want you to be in school for the free place to live? Or tell me about that.
Sure. I mean, if the ROI makes sense, like, I'm not against starting my own business. It's just the math has to math. Like, I'm not going to just eat everything on Dogecoin and watch J-Pal make the money printer go, brrr, you know what I mean? Jokes aside, I got very lucky with Tesla and Dogecoin, but that was a one-time black swan event. I'm going to be a lot more cautious with the money I make on this, sale of my house, because it's very finite. So, I'm trying to think of something that could be a passion project or something that would actually be lucrative, because it's kind of a teetering thing. So it's like, I mean, I'm kind of rambling because I got caught a little left field on this. Yeah, I'm not afraid to start my own business. I just don't know what it would be, I guess.
Yeah, I was just trying to think outside of the box here. Hey, Michael P. Jeezy, we'll talk about that in a second here. But so for you, it's sort of tough, right? There's no clear-cut answer. I see the reasons why college would be kind of beneficial for you. It sort of makes you go the full, or not the full, but almost the full time that you're going to have the blow and go.
Yep.
And then it wraps up about that same time. You can get into the workforce, all that. But you might be able to find trade work that's not a company car as well, but maybe not. I don't know. I just don't know enough about the specifics, but that's kind of my thoughts on what you could do.
That's where the new construction would come in, because it would be like a one project, like, a bridge over a highway. You're going to be at that bridge connecting that highway for X amount of years, or building that Costco or whatever it may be, versus going to some different person's house every day because their house backed up. So that's why a new construction's good, because you're stuck at this Costco facility versus dealing with every John and Jane Smith's house that backed up.
Yeah.
Or light bulb that went out.
Yeah, it's a tough predicament, man. That's it's a lot of things working together to make your life a little more difficult.
Yeah, don't drink and drive, kids, even if you think you're fine.
Yeah, that's. I had a buddy who he got multiple DUIs. One of them being extreme. He had the blow and go, failed that enough that they just revoked his license, and he literally had to either get rides or take the bus to everywhere. It was rough. So I agree. Don't drink and drive if you can avoid it. No, don't drink and drive. Period. Not if you can avoid it. Just don't do it.
Agreed. All right, thanks, man. Thank you
Yeah.
for trying.
Yeah, for sure, man. If I can help you out with anything else, just let me know, okay?
Yep.
All right, see you, brother. All right. Let's go. Okay, so XRP or no? Michael, I don't know if you're still here. PGZ, I don't know if you're still here. Is it cost effective to be both spiritually and physically aroused? I don't honestly know what that means. If you're married, I'm not sure how that works either way, but I'm at a loss here, brother. I'm at a loss here. Give me more details. Maybe I can help you. If I play my cards right, I can retire at 52. Yo, 25 years on as a cop, full pension, and a 457B with 25 years of investments and interest in it. Yeah, that's pretty sick, Dan. That sounds pretty good. Single, well, I'm refusing to be bothered spiritually and physically. That's it, not a viable option for me. Both numbers. I mean, being spiritually aroused is never a problem, and it doesn't cost any money to worship. I don't know if that's what we're looking for, but and then Dan, I forgot how old you said you were, because you still got a lot of time, right? Like there's no guarantee, but historically the your portfolio, if it was 100% stock, okay, 33. So you got 19 more years. Would generally double if you were 100% stock. Would generally double every like 8 years or so. So keep investing, and you got 2 more doublings, and then some. You just have to make sure that you're invested in a way that it's set to grow. Nor does it for physical arousal. That can definitely cost you, PGZ, depending on where you are, who you're around, stuff like that. In Ireland, around lunatics, the good kind. All right. All right. I don't know how much help I am here, PGZ. I apologize, man. I also don't know the costs of everything. Can good people become rich? Please be honest. Of course. Of course they can. Now, it depends on what your definition of rich is. But yeah. All you have to have is a good idea that the market likes, right? If you create something, if you're a good person and you create something that the world wants, you could become rich. What do you think? Just O guy? Do you think so? I just want to be at the point where when it's time to be done working, I'm done working. I feel that. So, Dan, if you really want the answer to that, cut back now, save like crazy, or I should say invest like crazy, and let it grow. You don't necessarily need one big homie, but they do serve a purpose for like an emergency fund. But you can always get a money market as well. So you don't necessarily need a high yield savings account. I technically don't have a high yield savings account either. Do you think I should invest in Somgo? I'm not sure what Somgo is. But if you're going to invest in an individual stock, company, or sector, you're taking a huge amount of risk on. A huge amount of risk. So is that risk worth it for you? If you lose money or don't keep up with the market, will you find that worth it for the shot that it will go super high? It's for pet diapers. Man, pet diapers? I don't know. I mean, that could go crazy. It could also fail. I have never once wanted to put a diaper on an animal because then you have to clean the animal up after they're done. I don't know that I want any part of that. What can I consider myself ready for investing? When can I consider myself ready for investing in risky stocks? This is actually a really good question. And the actual answer to this is after you have been invested in the market has done a sharp downturn and has recovered. That is when you'll know you're ready for investing in risky stocks. Nancy is retiring. Everyone's investments are tanking now. But you have to go through a downturn. Just a guy. You have to go through a downturn and recover from it to understand your emotions and your feelings. Because what people think they will do and what people actually do are different. I have lived through enough downturns that if the stock market lost 90% tomorrow, I would get excited. I would sell nothing and I would buy more. But there are a lot of people who are different than me. When the markets tank, they panic and they sell at the bottom. Does that make sense? Just a guy? Is degree important for investing in stock market? No. Now, if you want a job in finance to make that a part of your daily life, then yes, a finance degree can help you. But you might be able to find, it depends on what you want to do, right? Investment banking, there's all sorts of things out there. So the answer is maybe. But many people have been successful investors with zero college degree in that. What other questions we got? All right. What else is going on in the world today? What is the best stock to invest right now? I couldn't tell you, just a guy. Nobody can. If anybody tells you they know the best stock, one, you need to ask them what they mean by best. And then two, how do they rate what best is? Is it the best performance over the next 2 months? 2 years, 10 years, right? Like, how do you judge best? Whom do you think should avoid investing in the stock market? Somebody who doesn't have the risk tolerances for what the stock market does. It goes up, it goes down, it can crash, it's volatile. So anybody who is not, whoever is unable to stomach volatility, them. Even though it might be in their best interest to do it anyway, but if they can't stomach the volatility and they're going to do not good things, they probably should not invest, you know? You know? Man, we're at 774 subscribers on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Watch a video, like it, push it in the algorithm. Let's change the world together. Dude, also, hey Dan, if you're still here, do you know how I get into... somebody used channel points, and I don't know how to go into that queue to show that they are paid off or not. Review unban requests. I have an unban request. Whoa. What is this? Whoa. My audio is now duplicated here. Just wait for the next bear market in crypto. Buy up some XRP. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to hit $5-6 by late 2026. But what if it doesn't, Auntie? What if it doesn't? Alright, I goofed big time here on Twitch. Now my audio is all duplicated, and I don't know how to fix it. This is what I get. So, Auntie, what you're talking about is taking a pretty gigantic risk by putting your money into one thing. Now, that one thing could go gangbusters, but it could also go to zero. It could not keep up with the market, right? You got to match your risk tolerance with your investments. So if you're super aggressive and volatility doesn't bother you, then it's okay. Creator dashboard, viewer rewards. Viewer rewards, okay. Power-ups and channel points, okay. View requests. I don't have view requests in here. I have manage power-ups and channel point. Oh, that's what you said, yeah. Power-ups and channel points, okay. This shows me everything I've created, but what about the ones people paid for? I always find this thing on accident. That is not it. Whoops. Should be under customer rewards. Let's see. It's okay. I don't need that. If it doesn't, then it's a considerable loss, but all the numbers point towards that direction currently. All the numbers are based on short-term data, Auntie. You might be absolutely correct. Maybe it goes bonkers and it just to the moon and you'll be so happy. But know that any information on cryptocurrency is not very dated. Do you consider yourself as an academic person? I don't know what that means. I did, new from Luna. I did get a degree, but I don't know if I'd consider myself academic. Customer reward. Oh, what? I don't see that. Oh, that's a really weird spot for it, Dan. Thank you. There we go. Wow, I have things from 19 days ago. What a slacker. What a slacker. Dan's the man. If you haven't checked out Dan's channel, Archangel _725, the greatest Resident Evil streamer of all time. As somebody who is 29, what is the best way to build credit with the end goal being to get a house? Trunk. Do you have no credit, or do you have bad credit, no credit, or some credit? If you don't believe that Archangel is the greatest and you think I'm just lying, which I'm not, go to his stream the next time he streams and tell him to show you his arm. That's all I'm going to say. I'm leaving it. I'm leaving it. Unsolicited advice is the worst kind of advice. That's a take. That's sort of what you did, though. All right, so Trunk, let's go over all the scenarios. If you have bad credit or no credit, a secured credit card is a great way to begin. It essentially works like a prepaid credit card. You begin to build up. And then once you build up, you get a normal credit card. The most important thing, Trunk, is that you don't carry a balance month over month. Pay it off at the end of the month or sooner every time. Also, when you're using your credit card, never go above like 30%. Some people say 40. Never go above 30% of your balance. Dylan, hello. That's interesting. It says you said hi. Like a 720? Okay, so you already have good credit. I mean, at this point, it's just continuing it along, right? There are people that will tell you. Now, I'm not a credit counselor, but from my experience, I just gave a statement. I don't know what you're on about. Unemployed yapper. Sounds good, Dan. Sounds good. So let's see here. You already have good credit. There are some people who would tell you, take out more credit, pay it off. If you have the cash, take out a balance and pay it off, which may do something, but you're already kind of working your way to a good spot. How should I save my pocket money? My parents always give me more than I need. Should I invest it somewhere? It depends on what the goal of the money is, right? You have to understand the goal with a time horizon and a risk tolerance before you invest. So saving it could be step number one. There are 5 steps to financial success. You need to do a budget, but then you need to build an emergency fund. So if you're living with your parents, you might not have bills right now. So what does an emergency fund look like to you? So you could start investing, or you could begin saving for different goals. Like if you know you want to buy something in the nearest future, start setting that money aside. I'm actually going to ask my tattoo artist if he'll let me stream. Yo! That's actually really cool, Archangel. You should 100% do that. Yeah, absolutely. I bought 8,000 shares of XRP at 56 a share per average. That's what I'm talking about. Every time the market's dropped, it has proven itself to bounce back. Like you said, it could be some coincidence, though. Okay, so there is... Exactly, Dylan, exactly. So, I don't know how to word this, Auntie. There's no intrinsic value when it comes to crypto. There's no intrinsic value. It only has value because we say it does. There are also gigantic whales in the crypto space that can move the markets by themselves. That makes me a little bit nervous. So, yeah. I mean, I think I have decent credit. My only thing is it feels weird that is how your credit dips whenever you get more credit cards. I have like 2 or 3 and only use them for like bills. Yes. When you do a new application or add a new credit, it drops it. Honestly, the credit system is ridiculous. It needs to be revamped. Nobody understands it. 3 different credit bureaus do things differently. Your scores are never the same on all of them. It's ridiculous. But Trunk, you're actually doing pretty good, man. I would say make sure you pay everything off at the end of the month. Pay a little bit extra. I don't know what your debt to income ratio is, but if it's high, try to get that lower. I think I upset this guy in the channel. That's my bad, Div. I didn't mean to upset you, brother. I hope we could still be friends, you know? Now, even with all that being said, even everything I've told you about reasons why you should be cautious when it comes to crypto, that says you should be cautious, that doesn't mean it can't go crazy. Like, XRP might be your jam. I got friends who are Bitcoin people. They think it could go to like 20, 30 million a coin. I don't know. Maybe that's possible. I'm not 100% sure. Did my stream just end? But it could go crazy. You could become rich. The people who have been invested in crypto for the last 10 years are winning. You know what I'm saying? All right, you are back. How do you start getting a higher credit each month? There's no specific way to boost it, but paying it down, making sure your debt to income ratio is low, those are pretty much the best ways to do it. Let's see something here. Increase credit score. On-time payments, paying down balances, avoiding unnecessary debt. Let's see here. Make on-time payments, pay down revolving account balances. Yep, how much you owe accounts for 30% of your FICO score. So that's a big one. Are you Santa Claus? I am not. I am not Santa Claus. My beard still has a little bit of color in it. But look. Whoop. Whoop. Yeah. You know, it's hard to argue with what it's done so far, Auntie. I'm still cautious about the future, but I understand people's excitement for it. You know what I mean? You do look like Santa Claus. I do have red on, huh? I didn't really think about that. I do look like Santa Claus. That's crazy. I just don't have as much of a belly as Santa Claus. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas! Don't close your oldest account, is what it also says. Diversify the types of credit you have. What does that even mean? For example, someone with 2 credit cards, an auto loan, and a mortgage loan will have a stronger credit mix than someone with just 1 credit card. Note that your credit mix generally won't be a major factor in determining your eligibility for a loan or credit card, but can help take a good credit score to the next level. Limit new credit applications. Dispute inaccurate information on your report. Become an authorized user. This is all from Experian, by the way. I'm actually Santa Claus's cousin. Very true. I basically have like a $1,000 in debt and a pretty good savings. I'm just working a lot more. Building saving goal is 20K by the end of the year. I like it. Will that be your emergency fund trunk? Maybe I should, Dylan. Trunk. Another good thing you could set up is a market-linked GIC account. If your bank offers it, that is, it's principal protected, so whatever your investment is, you're guaranteed that back plus. Interesting. Anna, what's going on here today? How can I help you, Anna? You've been in here, but you told me about a game, some other stuff. What can I do for you, Anna? How can I help you? Hit me. All right, guys, we have a few minutes left on this. Hey, Dan, for real, though, if you're still here, you 100% should do that tomorrow. That would be so sick. We can hear you scream as they needle you. Ah! I found out about you. And if the markets do good, do a 15, 60% return and 30K locked into one for 5 years at the moment. I have been live for 2 hours and 30 minutes. And when I'm done with this, I will actually end my stream for like a half hour, and then I will hop over to TikTok. If you've never seen a TikTok live stream, it's different. Let's see here, all the time. I'm constantly on TikTok. Should I day trade? If you're on TikTok, I have limitless content, endless content on YouTube or on TikTok. So, should I day trade? Sam's, this is a personal decision. Most people who day trade lose, either meaning they lose money or they don't keep up with the market. So you have to decide if the extra risk is worth it to you to day trade. Because you also have to factor in, right? If you're spending 40 hours a week to try and beat the market and you do it by like 0.25%, Was it worth all your time, or could you have spent that time doing something else and just let your money work? What's something you learned while working at Vanguard that you didn't learn from finance classes courses? Bad beats, bruh. Honestly, everything. Don't get me wrong, a finance degree is kind of neat, but you learn in finance that no, I don't want to go that far. Hold on. All right. How about this? You learn that the real world is different than the education you get in school. For one specific example, I remember hearing or reading multiple times and learning multiple times that bonds and stocks are inverse to each other, inversely correlated. Now, I get the understanding, right? A lot of the time when stocks crash, there's a flood to quality, people move into bonds, stuff like that. But then we lived through rates dropping on bonds, bond prices going up, while stocks were going up at the same time, right? So really the thing I learned is that what you learn in textbooks and the real world are very different. I also learned that most people have no idea what they're doing when it comes to investing. The people that you think, like I would just assume back in the day that like a doctor, because they're so smart and they're a doctor, or I actually worked with somebody who worked at NASA, and they had no idea what they were doing when it comes to investments. I need to make an extra 50K next year. What is the easiest way to do it? Easy? I don't know that there's an easy way to make 50K, brother. You got to grind. Figure out your skills, apply those skills, get paid for those skills. That's what I would say. But 50K is not a small amount of money. Hey, Big Homie is back. If you guys didn't know, Big Homie Lolo is in my video from Wednesday. We got to meet at TwitchCon and shoot together. It was sweet. I make 150K a year. I need another 50K because I'm having a kid and I still want my life to progress. By the way, I'm in Canada. That's why I need this much. What do I do? Well, it sounds like you... Big Homie. Big Homie had some advice there, but he's in Canada, so it doesn't work. So 50,000 sounds potentially like an arbitrary number that you made because if it's your first kid, I have 4 kids. Kids don't actually increase your expenses as much as you think they're going to, especially in the early years. And the other thing I would think of is assessing your goal and seeing if it is your retirement goal and what you're doing right now, and make sure you're still in line, because you may find out that you don't have to either be saving as much, like maybe you can reprioritize, or, you know, yeah, we'll just leave it there. Is it worth it to buy gold and stack it? It depends on why, right? Are you buying gold because you think it will outperform stock? Are you buying it as an inflation hedge? Are you buying it as a recession hedge? Are you buying it just because you think it's going to do well? But most of the people who buy a lot of stock, or I'm sorry, gold, are for a reason. So it really just depends on what your goal is for the money, you know? I'm in my mid-20s and have been investing for a few years, but consider myself risk-averse. Do you think being too risk-averse can be counterproductive at my age? Absolutely. But you are investing in a way right now that's allowing you to learn without having to make mistakes. So the next time, like, what did you, were you, oh wait, you have been investing. Like, how did you react during April? You think businesses are going to start leaving New York City or just reducing their taxable earnings? I think it will depend, big homie. I know people are talking about leaving because of the mayor and all that sort of stuff, but he can't do things unilaterally, so I don't know. But it could definitely be detrimental, bad beats. It could definitely be detrimental. So figuring out your risk tolerance is incredibly important. Because if you consider yourself risk averse, but during like downturns you don't really stress out, maybe you're not as risk averse as you think you are. What should I do if I have to choose between? Man, I might have to ban you for that, Josh. Flopagoon says to always stack it. Interesting. Tell me why. I want to know why. All right, guys. I love you. Join the Patreon for free down below for a free budget spreadsheet, weekly community Q&As, and market recaps, Saturdays at 10 a.m. Arizona time. I will be streaming on TikTok in probably 30 minutes or so. So if you want to hop over to the TikTok stream, it's a little more wild, but it's also fun. But I love you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.